Stand firm in the faith. Act like men. Be strong. In today's culture, that's labeled toxic masculinity. But Scripture reveals the truth. Strength that is rooted in love is biblical masculinity. Make your choice.
Welcome back
to the Choice Podcast.
Episode number 52. I think we got that one right, boys.
Yeah. It's the continuation
only
of
slightly overboard.
The change episode continuation.
Yeah, it is. Change episode. But you know what we were talking about? Somebody has some change in their household. We're just talking about, you drove past my house yesterday and didn't stop in, Josh.
I noticed you had nice Christmas lights. Does that help?
No. Makes it worse.
I've changed.
That tells me you knew exactly where I live
today. I do.
What time you drove past at 2:30 p.m.?
Yeah, I should have put at a.
That's a dude rule. Well, where do we stand on that? If you drive past one of your bros, your what do we call it, your 3 a.m. friends' houses, and their trucks are in the driveway.
Do you honk? Do you stop? Do you just ignore it and just keep going?
Right. What's the rule? What do we do? What do you think?
We need to outline this.
I would.
This is about boundaries here.
If I knew I was always open to stop by, I would stop by.
Yeah, but that's the question. Are you open to stop by?
I didn't stop. That's what's going on, guys. I didn't stop. I didn't even honk.
If you have
you didn't even honk.
I think a heads
that hurts more than anything.
I could have done donuts in the yard. No,
I would have been happier.
He probably would have started joining you.
Man, a man drove past your house. I would consider Josh a 3 a.m. friend. You would help.
Absolutely.
You're a body-burying friend.
Absolutely. We would hide bodies.
You not even a toot, a beep, anything? Yeah. Come on. That's right. Air horn, train horn. Come on, man.
All right, now I've got several friends that live down the street from you.
Yeah.
So we also have to clue into this thing about punctuality. If I told the guy I'm going to train his dog at 2:30, it's 2:20. If I stop at Eric's, there's no way I'm leaving in under 10 minutes.
No, or 2 hours. But what's a beep cost a man?
That's true.
Then you did it on the way out because you had to drive back through.
It was my commuter car. It had been like, meh, meh, meh. It sounded very like a very effeminate beep.
Garrett's is kind of the same way. But here's how he makes up for it, though, when he beeps and goes past the house. He does obnoxious beep, which I actually think is great. He's like, yeah, but better.
I'll do it better than that then.
Yeah, it's. I was like, oh, there's Garrett, and then this is what friends do. But the thing is the rule is this: like, are people as a man rule? Are you welcome at your friend's house even if you don't know they don't know you're coming? And where's that limit? Where's the line?
I think it comes down
when you're
to
gonna
what
rank
category
your friends.
you're in.
So if you were to rank your friends in terms of proximity to like dudeness, like this is my dudeness. That's number one, right? The whole way down the list to the end. Where is the line at? At what number do they call first?
I think it determines like what box of friends you're in.
3 a.m. friends?
Like,
doesn't matter.
Yeah, like one of y'all, I don't care if y'all walk in and y'all like, dude, you didn't fold the laundry, you just left them on the couch. I wouldn't be worried it was y'all. If it was like Pastor Tim walked in my house, I'm like, dang, we didn't clean up before the pastor came over. Now I feel dumb.
Yeah.
Well,
where's the number? What's the line? What's the over-under?
You could come. Come on over.
That's not a number.
That's not a number. Is it like your top 5? Or is it?
I would say top 5.
Oh, that's what because I just said top 5.
That's no, I was thinking that before.
Easy way out, huh, Matt?
Yeah, cheater.
Come on.
I think top 10 is too many because then you.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
And then the next best step
10's
would
out.
be top 5, unless you just want to do top 3. Only your number one friend can come and swing by whenever they want.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to think. I have a neighbor. He can come by anytime.
You challenged
making a list,
and I provided my answer.
Is 5?
Yeah, I would say 5 because, like, I have a buddy who lives in Massachusetts. If he comes down, I'm not gonna say, "Oh, you can't stay with us."
That's actually like another question. Like, there's a come over and there's a stay over.
How long is the stay over?
Some guys would be like, if you're a dude and I consider you a friend, you're always welcome. Some guys would say that. I have a friend.
Yeah. I'm making a list right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the same thing. I think 5. Mine's greater than 5.
I don't have that many friends, so
and either of the pastors can stop by anytime they want.
Nope.
I have 3 neighbors.
Nope.
4.
Don't come over.
That can stop by anytime they want. That makes 6. You that's 7. There's at least 8 people that I don't care if they just stop in.
So
I don't even know where you
got
live,
a list.
so.
I've got a list right now of probably 6, but I could easily get to 8 or 9. Some of them I'm pretty safe on because they live way out of state. So I think we're okay.
Cheater.
Yeah, I got to add this dude too. Y'all are on the list though.
Yeah, you stop in. If I saw your car coming in the driveway, some people you're like, some people are like, oh, hey, what's up, dude? What you doing? You know?
Well,
There's
now I have a
difference.
grill, so I need to stop by and grill some steak.
No, you can use my grill.
Nice.
Yeah, you don't. Need
I've
to
got
use that
this
grill.
story I've been wanting to tell y'all, and it has nothing to do with anything.
Okay.
But
How long have you been wanting to tell the story?
Since the last episode.
Oh, not years.
No, before
Podcast
during bread breaking before the last episode, this guy's name came up, and he's on my list. He's actually, he's on my list. So I'm gonna tell you the story. But it does talk about food. So my boy Frank, this guy and I,
Frank he's the guy you room with.
I roomed with him for.
He's
a
not
long
cute,
time.
Frank.
Not cute, Frank, and I love him to death. He knows we're good friends. We would and have buried bodies figuratively together. And I'd tell him to his face he wasn't cute. He knows it.
What makes no?
He
never
resembles a guard. He resembles a
Hey, we're
garden
supposed to be
gnome.
talking about
I
chili
know.
and cheese.
Garden gnome.
Big ears, shiny nose,
Little bitty guy.
little round.
Yeah, he's half Mexican, half Colombian, and he's whiter than I am. Strangest thing.
Yeah.
But he's first language Spanish. I always
not
like to mess with him and
shocked
tell
at
him his
that.
first language is Mexican.
What's his last name? Not Caliendo.
Castle?
Close.
It was
Frank
Castillo, but Castle. So Frank and I had this thing, and I don't know why. Oh, it came up because we were talking about putting a guard on your personnel and equipment, right?
Oh yeah.
So that's a military thing. You've got to always maintain.
There's only one thief in the Marine Corps. Everyone else is just trying to get their stuff back.
That's right. We say the same thing in the Army, but we say, I'm sure you guys say it too. Maintain positive accountability of your personnel and equipment at all times.
Yeah.
So we were deployed. We met in 2004. We were deployed in 4 or 5 or something. And we were in Iraq, and I don't know what happened. I don't know who started. It was probably me. It likely was. So he brought his food to the table, and he got up because he forgot his drink. So he's going to get a water or whatever. And we had just been talking about maintaining 100% of accountability of your personnel and equipment. Well, you can do that by putting a guard on something, right? So if I say,
Like a human to guard it.
right, here's my stuff, I have to leave. Maddie, would you guard my stuff? That stuff's secure. If I don't put Maddie on this guard on this stuff is vulnerable to be stolen.
Yeah.
Well, Frank didn't guard his cheeseburger. So I grabbed that thing.
It's like
And-
you can't call them fives.
I ate as much of that cheeseburger as I could
And the time he
while
was gone.
he was getting his glass of water. And I put the quarter of the cheeseburger back and acted like nothing happened. And he threw a fit and I outranked him. So I pulled rank on him because it was the stupidest thing to do. And I said,
But most effective.
I said, if you can't maintain 100% accountability of your personnel and equipment, food being your equipment, it's not my problem,
Nope.
dude.
Never.
That has caused a 21-year problem in our friendship.
Really? A serious rift.
So then one day I forget to put a guard on. And so then now we're
Fast forward 15 years.
We're all quick. And I'm like, man, I need an apple. Hey, Frank, will you guard my food? And he's like, gosh, yes. Because he's just hoping I forget. And he's going to tear up that piece of pizza. So we do this every time we eat. Well, then it got a step further. I'm like, well, he said, Josh, guard my food. He didn't say anything about that Coke he's drinking. So I grabbed the soy sauce and I just dumped the soy sauce in the Coke, right? So then
That's crossing a line.
he takes it a step
no sound.
further.
There should be sound effects.
We're
for
about
that.
to go outside the wire. We're going to eat lunch in the DFAC in Iraq.
defense something. It's where you eat food.
Yeah. Dining facility.
Yeah, that's it. Dining facility.
Defect.
FAC is the facility. Yeah.
Facility, yeah. So I set my sunglasses down because we're going out and it's in Iraq and it's like 100 and bazillion degrees
Yeah, it's so
outside.
hot, man.
He coats the nose piece and the earpiece with Tabasco sauce.
That reminds me of a
So
story.
we get in the Humvee. I put my sunglasses on and I'm just like, oh man, oh gosh, my eyes, oh my ears. And he's just on the radio laughing at me, right? So it's gotten there. Well, we come home from like the 29th deployment or something, and we're at a dining out, and we're all dressed up, and it's, all the pomp and circumstance of a dining out. And Frank has enjoyed one too many adult beverages. And when they brought our food, which we were all eating steaks, he forgot to put a guard on his food and said, can I get anyone around
A guard.
of drinks?
Give me a break.
So he goes to get drinks. I jump up and I start collecting salt shakers from every table.
Disgusting.
And I dump them all. So it's a mountain of salt on his steak at this dining out. And he is
Terrible.
furious. To this day, we can go to dinner. And if one of us goes to the bathroom, I'm like, Frank, are we going to, we're older now. We're both retired. Can we stop this game?
When's that end?
We can't.
That's the thing. Here's the thing about it.
Because we can't change because of fear.
Fear of losing the game. It's pride and not fear.
Fear of failure.
Mm.
And that, folks, is how we come back to change.
That is how we come back. But I have another story.
Let's hear it.
Yeah,
I love stories.
So this is we're going to call this I guess we're going to call this the one-up opening. Because like you and Frank, like one-upping each other, right?
All the time.
The whole thing is like, this is why you never get into this is a good like pro tip for you, Matty B. Don't ever get into a prank war.
Oh,
Because
they're rough.
that's where you guys are. You're in a prank war. We call it a Frank war.
We've had
a
some.
prank war. Because at some point your pride is, now you're young and you're like, I won't be undone. This is where the wisdom, this is where I'm going to share wisdom. 1, don't get into it. 2, if you do, know when to call it. Okay.
You got to know when to call it.
And so I learned this lesson hard early in my career because I got into a prank war because I thought it was, I don't remember what I did. His name, well, it was our maintenance officer, right? His name was Freddie. He was short Hispanic dude too, but one of the funniest guys and one of the most genuine dudes that you'll ever meet. He's still an active duty Marine. He was prior enlisted. He's a quality human being. Okay. Anyways, but Freddie had a little more prank war experience than I did. Okay. So here's the picture I'm going to paint. We're in CONUS Continental U.S. training. We're in 29 Palms, California. We're living in a K-span. You know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
A K-span, for y'all that's out there and doesn't know, it's basically like a silo cut in half, turned on its side.
Yep.
You're living in it, right? Like a tin silo.
Like the old school Quonset huts.
Yeah, but they won't know what that is either. Picture like a grain silo split into 2 pieces, left and right.
Yeah, like you split the silo
Top to bottom.
and
laid
then
on its side. Yeah. And there's like 30 beds in there. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyways, we all lived in there. And we had the officers.
The smells. Ooh.
Oh, it was bad. Especially when you wear the same underwear for 31 straight days.
Yeah, well.
In the
you gotta do what
desert.
you gotta do.
Anyways, I don't remember what I did to prank Freddie, but Freddie didn't take things lightly. And so I was just young and dumb. I'm like, I got the guy. Look how funny I am. All right. And and I did something to Freddie's rack after that. So prank A happened. Prank B followed up. I'm like, well, I'm going to go one step further. And then I did something to like his bed, right? And I don't know if I put water on it or something stupid. Bro, I woke up one morning because Freddie worked night shift. He was a maintenance officer. He got there earlier than everybody else. I woke up
Sure.
and I had a flight suit, right? I woke up one morning, putting on my flight suit, and what do you think he did?
Oh no, I'm getting concerned about taking this sip of coffee.
So I put one leg into.
You sewed the bottom of it shut.
No, worse.
Ants.
No,
I give up.
I put one leg into it, and I'm like, ooh, that was kind of like wet and like warm and
He peed in it.
liquid.
He peed in it.
Shaving cream in the whole leg of the flight suit. So I'm like, it's
Ready.
dark. It's still, people around. I can't really do anything about it. I'm like, this guy. So I take the thing off. I clean myself up with a towel or whatever. And then like I get the shaving cream out of one leg, that leg of the flight suit. I'm like, okay, that took like 5 minutes. That was a pain. This thing gonna smell. I don't know if I even wear my other flight suit. I don't know the reason, but I'm like, I clean the leg up and I put it on. I put it back on. I'm like, it's gonna smell like shaving cream all day. I'll just deal with it. Put my right leg back on, and then I put the left leg in. Same thing. I'm like, you idiot. I should have known he put it in both legs. I cleaned that all out. Cleaned it up. Cleaned myself. Like, all right, now let's go to work. Put it on.
in your pockets?
I put my arm through the right side.
Oh yeah, it's
And
in
it was
there.
then that I realized every single appendage of that flight suit was full of shaving cream.
Oh,
And so
Time to
gross.
call it.
that was where I was like, you know what? And that point I was like, I trashed that one. I guess I got a new one at that point. And I drove up to the maintenance barn or to the hangar, and I said, Freddie, this is the life lesson. I said, Freddie, you win. We're done.
Oh,
I-
that's a good call.
The option, because, and I don't think it was an immediate decision I came to. I'm like, here's what happens next. I gotta one up him or try to, and then it's only gonna escalate.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
It wasn't worth it.
And I've got some that I'll tell you off air
Yeah.
because I want to do it to some of the people listening,
Oh,
and I don't want them to know it's me.
perfect.
No.
So
Take that, Peter Parker.
Oh, Peter Parker.
No sneaky emailer. We know who you are.
Yep.
Anyways,
your number,
yeah, this
sir.
is the change episode. So last episode we talked about, the fact that change is a real thing. Everyone's going to have to do. All dudes will have to deal with it.
At one point or another, it's coming.
Yeah, you got to either embrace it or you get in or get out. It's coming, right? You can either adapt.
Or you get
and
left behind.
or get left behind.
You become irrelevant.
Yep, minimalized. And then eventually irrelevant. And
so the fear is that maybe what you've been doing doesn't work, and that's scary because now you've got to figure out how to adapt and overcome to these things. But if you don't, you become irrelevant. But here's the thing that I was thinking of a few days ago, thinking about change. Maybe it's because the man God's growing you into being can't be built in that old season.
I like it. And then remember we talked about that change often means that God isn't done.
There you go. That's a good thing.
Right. So while we hate change, like some of the best. Well, so I look back on some of the things I've dealt with now, and we're going to talk this episode about how do you deal with change, okay? But some of the things that I hated the most at the time going through are some of the best things that ever happened to me, right? And I've told you guys, vaguely, marriages, we married 20 years, we talked about that last episode. It's not easy, okay? And I was actually talking to, what do we call Dave? What's his show name? Decisive...
Devoted Dave.
Devoted Dave before we recorded tonight. And I said, listen, anybody that tells you marriage is easy is simply this, not married.
Right?
Right?
That's 100% right.
And it's because it's
Wait,
not.
I meant that.
I'm
wait,
not
honey.
even married, and I know it's not easy.
Wait, the way I said that, I need to just clarify to my
Honey.
my sweet, precious wife.
This is wisdom.
I meant it's not easy for her
That's right.
to deal with
I
me.
don't think it's easier for either of us. And I'll be honest about that because
Yeah.
I'm changed. She's changed. We're not the same people we are. You know what I mean? Like, I'm bald and bearded. You know what I mean? Like, she's like, I didn't ask for that.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm going that direction. I'm just fighting it.
I know.
I'm not shaving it off. She said just shave it. I'm like, no.
The whole way off?
Yeah, she said shave it like Eric's. I'm like, no. Look, here's the deal.
I think he's talking about this head, not the beard.
My head.
Oh, your head.
I'm gonna rock whatever God gave me. If it ends up just being a hula skirt around the side, that's what I'm rocking. I'm rocking the hula skirt. I don't care.
Weird. Like, I'm trying to get my beard like yours, and she's trying to get your hair like mine.
Yep.
I don't want to. Let's stay individual here. We got a little individual out.
We're
But
gonna start
Well, you're
looking
not
like
gray in the
twins.
front.
a little
You
bit.
got a little bit poking through.
Yeah,
but
I'm not as wise as you yet.
yeah. Well, this is when your daughter gets married. This is what happens.
Yeah, I know.
When my next one gets married, the rest will go gray. I think.
Yeah.
Looking
Not
like
that
Santa
my daughter
Claus.
was trouble. She was a sweetheart and
Yeah. So,
great.
so
great
probably
daughter.
is, I'd imagine.
Still is.
And so, yeah, I mean, but some of the things that we went through were not, while we didn't know it at the time, were the best things that we could have. It brought us back to the faith, number one.
Right.
And so, how can you argue against that? Did we expect that? No. Did we want that at the time? Not really. In fact, not at all. But you know
Sure.
what? As we look on it, like this podcast, we wouldn't be doing this.
Nope.
We wouldn't have the family, wouldn't have been saved. We wouldn't have been, born again if that change hadn't happened. And sometimes that change, like I said, is him just saying, look, I'm not done with your story yet.
Yeah.
And so you have to embrace it. I mean, and there's biblical examples of this. One of them, we talked about Peter.
Well,
We talked about Abraham. We
Abraham.
have Abraham, right?
both of them left security.
What do you mean?
Abraham left the security of his tribe, his people, his profession, and put
This
himself
is somewhere around Genesis 12, right at the end of 11, the beginning of 12.
put himself in harm's way by leaving everything he knew that was safe and going to what God called him to. Peter had a steady job as a fisherman, a good job, although it was hard.
So Abraham's
physical.
Old Testament, he's right after Noah.
Right.
It's Noah, then Abraham,
Now,
in terms of the chronological story.
Peter also had to step out in faith.
Peter's one of the first guys in the New Testament.
Make some changes. The similarities there are both of them had no idea where they were going, but both of them knew who was speaking to them.
Valid.
And they answered.
Good point.
And they answered correctly. And they took their steps in faith. So it comes down to, are we willing to take our step in faith and say, all right, God, you want to change me now? We're going into a new season of life. There are new things you have for me.
How do you recognize that, though? How do you recognize it's a new season? What's a marker? Like, if guys are looking back at, like, nah, this is a bump in the road, or like, no, this is a right turn. How do you recognize that? And not all turns are 90 degrees, right? Some are forks or Ys. That's pretty cliche. But like some are
big loop,
they could be a big loop,
big curve.
Yeah, like how do you recognize the difference between this is just the enemy's hand or this is a divine change?
That's a good question. And if you have an answer, then you already know it.
I don't have an answer.
Okay, because I was going to say, God doesn't always give me the road sign, that yellow sign. It's like, hey, 90 degree, slow down to 25 miles an hour, make the 90 degree curve. But signs are there. And I think Holly used to say this, put a fleece out there.
A fleece?
Yeah, like put a fleece out there and just see, God, if this is what you're doing, I'm going to start moving this direction. If this is what you're doing, or if this is not
What's
you.
What's a fleece?
Like if it's not you, shut it down.
Oh,
shut it down.
Yeah.
Excuse me. If it is you, then open this door for me. Let me know. Bring another believer alongside of me that'll encourage me in this. Think about how the podcast started. It was brought up to you and I individually, I think, and then together. And it seemed like it was like 2 or 3 times that we both had either together or individually been mentioned to this.
That's right.
And then that last time was like in our face, where I think it was Dean Fletcher.
It was 100%. I'll tell you where we were standing when he did it. I
can too.
Go
yeah.
in that exact spot.
Yeah, and he was like, "You two guys," and it was direct and verbatim, and it was, "You two guys need to do a podcast together."
Yeah,
and we were both kind of like, "What?"
Yeah.
And then the first words out of our mouth were, we need somebody that can do editing and mixing and run sound. And both of us like, Matty B, let's just put that fleece out there and ask him, hey man, what do you think about this? And without any hesitation, his words were, I'm in.
Right. I could probably take you back to the exact text where I sent it to Matty B. And I think his first answer was in front or behind cameras.
That's right.
And I said, does that matter? He said, kind of. I said, behind? He said, then I'm in.
And so then I think within 2 weeks, we were recording the first episode.
Yeah, it wasn't long after that.
And I think that's a good recipe. It's not always the way it's going to happen, but I think it's a good recipe to follow. Like, hey, if you've heard this from more than one person and you're hearing it from a believer, listen.
Yeah.
Lean in a little bit and then throw your fleece out there and see if it comes back. Hey, God said, hey, Matty B's down. So we just threw it together and we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know how to do it. We just sat down and started.
Sure did.
And
you have to trust the Spirit to lead you to some degree, right?
Yes.
You got to be like, okay, I think this is where we're supposed to go.
Right.
There's a little bit of faith involved, a leap of faith. And then you're like, look, if you're tied in to his purpose on the reg, as the kids would say, meaning you're actively seeking his will in your life daily.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear what he's saying, and it's gonna be clear, and it won't be crystal clear, but it'll be enough to be like, okay,
I think
I'm compelled to do this. And like you said, you put it out there and you're like, okay, this feels right. Oh, and Garrett has said it before when he's been sitting here with us. He's like, is this something that it sound like something God would say to you, right? Or is it sound biblical? Or is it sound in scripture and doctrine? And if the answer is yeah, it is, and then I guess you can't be wrong. And I think even if it isn't the perfect plan, he'll honor that, and it will bring him glory, right, and success.
100%.
And so, and the gospel will get out, which is ultimately the goal. Matthew 28: Go forth, make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And that's ultimately what all of our lives, wherever all come back to the same thing. What are we doing in this moment to give him glory and to get the gospel message out, right? Paul, think about Paul. His life changed drastically. That's a 180.
Yeah.
I was just
100%.
reading Colossians this morning, and he said, listen, for whatever the reason is I'm here, I am getting this message out, right? And same with Philippians. He's writing it from prison, Josh.
Right. Yep. 100%.
And he on the road to Damascus, where he's blinded to then fast forward 20 whatever years it is, 30, however long that was, and he's in prison in Rome, still getting the gospel message out. Things changed, but the purpose hasn't, right?
Right.
Like your situation has changed, but your mission has not. Does that make sense?
It absolutely
And so you
does.
find a way to execute that mission. And I think, we're here. What are some of the ways you're looking for something specific?
Yeah. I found it.
What is it? I see you're in the Old Testament. Can I guess where you're at?
Absolutely, you can guess.
I have no idea.
Well,
I
look
see
at- look
you're
at the-
early in
look
the
at
Old
the
Testament.
thickness.
Yeah, I think you're somewhere.
I'm on page 206, if that helps.
I would say that's the end of Genesis or the beginning of Exodus. No? What are you in?
Judges.
Whoa. Way fast forward.
Judges 6:36.
Wow. That's a lot of pages there.
The sign of a fleece.
Oh, a fleece.
Then Gideon said to God, if you will save Israel by my hand, as you have said, behold, I am laying a fleece of wool on the threshing floor. If there is dew on the fleece alone, and it is dry on the ground, then I shall know that you will save Israel by my hand, as you have said. So the whole point of the fleece you were asking, I couldn't remember exactly. That's what I was just looking up on my phone because it's 2026. The whole idea is Gideon Gideon putted the fleece on the ground, and in the morning, if there was dew on it, but there was no dew on the ground was dry, then he knew that. So putting a fleece out there is just saying,
I didn't know
God,
I didn't remember that story.
He did
Yeah.
it more than once, too. He didn't just do it once.
Repeated.
Yeah, he did. He was like, all right,
Classic
a little bit
fleecer.
more. A little bit more.
I just couldn't recall it. So that's the whole idea of we were told about the podcast. Then a brother who we know is a believer said it clearly in our face. And we were sure that, hey, we need to do this, but
Yeah.
we're going to need someone else. The fleece was talking to Maddie. Maddie B said, I'm in.
Confirmation, yeah.
And once he said he's in, I'll be honest with you, in that kind of situation, I would be concerned about not doing it at that point.
Oh, right, because we've been given not an ultimatum, but we've been given a
Clear direction.
Direction. Yeah, we've been given a calling to do it. And again, we've said that from the very beginning here. Like, none of this is ever something that we wanted to do, and none of this is about our agenda. It's about his agenda. We're going to follow the Spirit wherever it leads. This is why we did video on this crazy thing now. And we're going to continue to just put it out there. I don't think we did this math, but we added up the countries.
We did.
You told me this like 2 days ago. I was amazed. I had no idea.
Well, we've always said this, and I know that I don't want to make it a cliche that we say and don't really believe, but we don't listen to this. But someone else, another believer, listener, it was actually Devoted Dave, said something about the Choice podcast, this podcast show, and that it has reached outside of the state of Virginia, where we are located.
Right.
And I thought, yeah, he's right, but I wonder, where has it reached? And we have ways to, based on technology and the systems we use to get the podcast out, to see where it's reached. And we pulled it up, and I'll just go ahead and, man, I hope I may have deleted it. Who did I send that to? Did I send it to you guys. I don't think I sent it to y'all. I wrote down, I went over to Matt and I said, hey, Matt, can you look up all of the places the Choice podcast has reached? I think I deleted them, guys. But it was 13 countries.
Yep.
And it's bizarre, man. It's like Malta,
Some weird places.
Kuwait.
Yeah. Some of them I think are service
South
members.
Africa.
South Africa.
Yeah.
Let
Let me look.
Buenos Aires.
Germany, United Kingdom,
Yep.
Denmark.
That's right. Denmark.
Philippines.
Yep, was one.
Man, you're quite the geography.
It was just all over the place. And
Yeah.
Canada.
Sweden.
Here's what's really crazy
Norway.
and fun to me is that we have never advertised anywhere
until today.
Now today and I wouldn't call it advertised, but no, I would call it advertised. We put it out on some Facebook pages that
Yeah, we just started like building a network.
building a network. But this is pre that.
All that's pre.
So
yeah.
the cool thing is that's guys like you listening right now that said, hey, I like this. I think my buddy Rick might like it. And you say,
Bingo.
hey, Rick, check this out. And then it just gets passed on. And somehow it makes it to the Philippines and Buenos Aires and Germany and Malta and Kuwait.
And
There's somebody in Kuwait listening.
That's a great point. And
Come
something
on.
we talked about last episode, what we want to maybe go to in the future is like we thought about this recently. Like we can use this not just as an in-reach for the church, for the men's ministry here, which is kind of what it started to be, but it's become more of an outreach.
100%.
And so like if you're a missionary or you know of a missionary that's like, hey man, we just need to get those men who are somewhere on the 1 to 5 scale on belief, like biblical IQ. You know, the missionary has a group of folks that are somewhere on the 1 to 5 biblical IQ scale. Like
100%.
push this out to them
Yep.
as a way to like, it should be, we hope it's to be easy listening with a biblical base.
And
right?
easy to get to.
Push it out to those men, right? And it can be an outreach for them.
Absolutely.
And so, again, like, we don't make a dime. In fact, it costs us money to do
It does. It costs
But-
every day we produce. It costs us.
Yeah, but it's a blessing to do it, and we're
It is.
here again.
It's fun.
And so I actually had some. I'm going to try to wrap this up in the next 15 minutes. But practical frame. So we're back on change here. Practical framework. So tell me what your thoughts are on this. Okay, 3 questions when change appears. Like, how do men handle and deal with it? Okay, and you can add a biblical perspective, but here's 3 practical questions. What is actually within my control?
Yep.
Okay. What responsibility do I own? And what opportunity exists inside this disruption?
Say those 3 again.
What is are these worthy questions? Are these worthy questions to ask when change, like when you're adapting or dealing or leading through change? What is actually within my control? What responsibility do I own? And what opportunity exists inside this disruption? Meaning, like, if you can't control it, then don't sweat it. It's nothing you can do about it anyways, because the only thing you're going to get stressed out. That's number 1. Number 2, what responsibility do I own? So if change is happening,
I'll take number 2 and speak the words of my wife. She says, our only responsibility in anything is our response. That's your
like
responsibility.
that, yeah. That's
So when it comes to change, your responsibility is how are you going to respond to the change God's putting in front of you? What's actually in your control? I think that's the part that you can change. The things that you can't change are out of your control. That's up to God to change those things. So you just are responsible for your response. Act on what he's doing. Get out of the boat and start walking if that's what he's called you to do.
keep your eyes on him or you will sink.
Keep your eyes on him. Keep walking. He's going to change all those things that are out of your control.
Yeah.
The other one, what opportunity exists? That part? Explain
what
that one.
opportunity
Unpack
exists
that one.
inside this disruption? And so here's
Inside this disruption.
I think that's more of like what we were talking about earlier. It's like when Christine and I went through, some marriage hurdles, whatever, 8 years ago or whatever it was. I didn't ask this at the time, but now I look back and say, what opportunity exists out of that? And so now it's an opportunity to reach and have a conversation with a Josh and Holly that are going through marriage disruption, right? Or Maddie B to prep him for marriage disruption. Or like we are now, what we thought was a curse at the time is now a gift to somebody else in some degree.
Absolutely.
And so with this change, it's sometimes difficult, it's sometimes unexpected, but if we believe what we say we do, then we have to understand that God is doing a work in us that we may not quite yet have a full grasp upon. But no matter what that thing is, he will find a way to bring himself glory or to honor that.
Well, that's with the Abraham thing. And so, excuse me, what would have become?
We have to trust that he'll do that. And that's hard.
What would become of Abraham if he wouldn't have said, God's leading me to this. I'm leaving my home because he's leading me. What would the story look like had he said, no, this is what I'm used to.
And sometimes people are going to call you crazy. They're gonna call you a kook. They're gonna be like, "What's he doing?"
Because you're building a giant ark and there's no rain.
Oh, these people, right? Oh,
until the rain comes.
But they're going to church now. I know them. I know him.
I knew him 2 years ago.
Give me a break, right?
Yeah.
And so you're gonna have to fight these. You're gonna fight these battles. You can expect that to be the case, right? I guess now we're talking about faith-based change. It doesn't always have to be faith-based change. It can be earthly change of some variety, because these things matter too. You know, job change, life change, kids, you know, their home life changes, whatever these things are, right?
Yeah.
You got to be willing to adapt to them. And I think one of the major factors is planning ahead for these things. You've got to step back, step aside, and have like, what do things look like? The way you mitigate this change, lead through it. You're like, I know I'm going to retire, right? 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
What does it look like 5 years from now? And then everything you do is built, or most everything you do is built around
that end state.
Yes, working on that end state. And then you always, it's probably important, we're always asking yourself, pretty much every day, weekly, monthly, is this where I should be right now? Is this where I'm supposed to be right now? You know, and that'll always just keep it fresh. I mean, it's good to get in a groove, but the longer, you get the same old routine, what's going to happen is, one, it's going to get stale, I think. And two, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss opportunities because you're going to be set in your ways, and you're going to become less important and eventually irrelevant. You've got to be asking yourself, the agent of change here is every day, is this where I'm supposed to be right now? I don't think that's natural for most people. In fact, I don't think it's natural at all. I may be wrong on that, but that is how you always look. My wife is a pessimist, and it drives me nuts. But let me tell you this: I learned this. This was a change. I learned this the hard way, and only because, and I don't know who told me this, but I was like, oh wow, that light bulb came right on. But guess what? So pessimists, like, what do pessimists always think? Like the worst in everything. But everybody's got a superpower. You know what the superpower of a pessimist is?
Reality.
Well, they're always expecting the worst, so they're way over prepared, and they're detailed planners.
That's good.
And so when we're going on a trip, right? I'm just like, throw my underwear in there. It's a week long. I get one pair. No, I'm teasing.
No, you're not.
But no, I'm actually dead serious. And might bring 7 pairs. I'll wear one.
Yeah, there you go. That's true.
But she's got everything down to a science, packed, organized, whatever. And I was like, why do you bring it? She's like, well, this could happen, that could happen. I'm like, and someone's like, yeah, the superpower, it might have been in marriage counseling, frankly. Like, yeah, even pessimists have superpowers.
Yeah.
They're detailed planners. I'm like, that's actually a great perspective. And
we're just fun.
Are you a pessimist?
No, we're not. I'm not. You're not a pessimist. I'm not a pessimist. We're just fun.
Oh, we're as optimists, yeah.
We need some pessimists to keep us on the rails.
Yeah, because sometimes we get outside of reality. But anyways, the whole point is,
the reality is, change comes in different aspects of our lives. It comes in our marriage. So let's pause there for a second, and I'll just say this, and just stop me whenever you want to riff on something. But change comes in marriage, and if you're not willing to change and you just keep doing it, but your life, your marriage is changing. You're moving into rearing children, birthing children, raising kids, raising teenagers, dealing with teenagers who want to start dating or whatever.
Yuck.
If you're not willing to change in your marriage, that marriage starts to decay slowly.
Yep.
Marriage comes in the way of kids. Something we're both in the throes of right now is the older teenage years into the 20s. Well, there's books on what to expect when you're expecting, and and how to raise a kid who talks back and all those. No one writes a book on how to parent your child when they're done with college and entering adulthood. You know, that's change in raising your kids, change in careers. You've been working at this career. You might have some equity in a business. You might have some seniority, but God's moving you into something else. And it's uncomfortable. Change is not always comfortable. In fact, most of the time I would say it's not. And then there's change in your faith, you know?
Yeah, and we talked about this before the show, and I thought this was a really good point here. It's like avoidance actually creates more chaos than action does.
Yeah.
That's the snakes in your house thing.
Yeah.
So if you don't address these things you can address them in small bites, or you can avoid them, right? All these changes, like, nope, I still want to go out and do things with the dudes, even though I got 2 kids under 3. Now I have 3 kids under 5. You know what I mean? I still want to do old me. And you're like, I'm just going to avoid the responsibility, avoid it. But you can either eat it in small chunks, or you can just deal with the full-on blowout disaster. Maybe that's a little aggressive, but later on. But it's going to be a blowout, because eventually it's going to catch up with you. And you're going to probably maybe even regret some of those decisions you made, right?
Sure.
And that's where, like, the maturity, the wisdom, like, that's back to the whole Forge thing, or the whole surrounding yourself with folks who can pour into you. Part of this adapting to change is having somebody who's a season or 2 ahead of you in life to ask them about it. And hopefully they like you enough to stop when they drive by your house. We'll work on that, Josh.
Yeah. You got to stop or honk at least.
At least honk, bro.
Man.
That's honking's free.
What
but
a jerk face. I don't even know who would do that.
Yeah.
I mean, even Garrett honks.
All the time. He's a great friend of mine, actually. He honks. Thanks, Garrett. I appreciate that. I will even wave back. And so, he's also somebody that, like, look, he wants to come over and borrow something. That's another dude thing. You're, like, at what level do you cut off, like, you can come borrow something anytime you want, you know? I think you got to earn that. I think it's like a piecemeal. You can borrow something, and then if you bring it back, you can borrow something else. Then once you develop a pattern of bringing it back, you can come borrow whatever you need when you need to, you know?
What about your kids borrowing things? Because my son, James,
they can't borrow anything. I'm not even going to let them wear socks that I own. I'll never see them again.
Oh, they take my socks, but James takes my tools. And he goes, and he'll take a wrench and go work on a tree out in the back of our woods with a wrench and like a rake.
James, we may need to talk.
And a rake and you know, an old chainsaw blade. And then I go walk through the woods and I'm like, there's the wrench I've been missing. That's why I can't fix my water pump.
Yeah, the well pump.
Missing the doggone wrench. It's out here rusty now. Yeah. James.
Dang it, James. Yeah, so you got to have folks that and I would say the number one step is ask somebody about it. And probably not, you probably shouldn't be asking your buddy who's going through the same thing, because he'll be like, nah, let's go golf. You know?
Right.
Ask somebody who's been through it, who's a season or 2 ahead, and be like, hey, guy, my wife's wearing my butt out about this. Am I crazy? Or is she crazy? And he's probably going to give you some wise words if he's a good friend of yours. Would you agree?
Yeah, and I think also having a guy that's a little bit older than you that's done that season already.
Yeah.
You know, because look, this is the thing I've been thinking about lately. You look at guys that are in their 20s and you think, I remember what it was like to be in my 20s, to have that level of energy, that level of excitement, that kind of vigor. And that is, it's great. And when it's gone, it's gone. When you hit that age and it starts waning, it goes a little bit.
A little more sore every day.
Yeah, I mean, but then you
just go to sleep. Hope you have a dream about adult activities.
Yeah, then you get, exactly. Then you get to your 40s and you're like, oh, look at them in their 30s raising babies. I remember what it was to chase toddlers. And they all think they got it figured out.
Yeah.
Every one of them that's carrying in a little car seat with a kid, they got the baby thing figured out. And you're just like, and it's funny because I'm like, look at all the 40-year-old people, those 40 to 50s. They're all smiling because the baby's cute, and they're all thinking, I miss those days, and I don't miss those days, and they don't have ears to hear the advice they need to hear yet.
Yeah.
Here's what I wonder. Those old folks in the church, when they see us walk in, are they thinking, oh, I remember what it was.
Bless their hearts.
Look at those 2 guys. They got their podcast with their buddy, Matty B. They don't even know what life's about to dish out.
Yeah.
And they're too in the moment to hear me talk to them. Right? So I'll just smile. I wonder, like, should I spend a little more time with them and say, hey, if you were talking to yourself when you were my age, what would you tell yourself? Because I don't want to do what I did in my 30s, which is say, here I am, 35. Man, I wish I'd have known this at 25. And I've said it again at 45. Man,
if I'd have
I wish I'd have
known,
known what
life
this
would have
at
been a lot more
35.
boring though, because I'd have taken a lot less risks and done some less crazy things.
No, I probably wouldn't have.
Wouldn't
I'd
have
have probably
learned some of
still
those
wrecked the
lessons.
motorcycle. Almost died.
Yeah, it was a
It
crazy
was a
life.
stupid day.
Well, hopefully, that wraps it up.
Virginia Pine Tree.
We've spent a couple episodes talking about change management, because we're brand new. We're adding things to the podcast.
We're
As
changing.
You
You
can
ought to
literally
change.
see now.
If you're not changing, maybe you should be worried. Maybe you ought to just spend some time in prayer right now and say, God, what should be changing in my life right now?
Yeah. Is this where I should be today?
Yeah.
But brace yourself for the answer if
Yeah.
you're listening. And so we have one more episode on change, but it's going to be the best one of the three, I think, because we're
It
going to
is.
have our friend
We
here
have a guest.
coming up.
The guest will change.
Yeah, it's not going to be Maddie B's
Grill.
grill.
It's going to be something else.
Yeah, and I'm excited for you to meet him. I think it's going to be probably a little more
Raw and real.
than usual, which I love it. And so, come back again for the next one.
It's going to be hot and spicy. I'll tell you that.
Go to Facebook, like and follow The Choice Podcast. Go to YouTube, like
If you
and
don't,
follow.
change yourself and change what you're doing.
And your underwear.
Change your underwear.
Before
Change your
day
habits.
31.
On YouTube, it's like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. I don't
That's
care.
Turn
what
on
we
the bell.
said.
Stuff. Hit the bell.
Oh, that's what they
whatever.
say on YouTube. We can say, smash that like button. Isn't that what they all say?
Smash away.
Bunch of weirdos.
Go ahead and and then if you want, you can message us on Facebook now or write us in at thechoicepodcastshow@gmail.com.
Smash like and comment. It means a lot. It helps the algorithm. Whatever.
Stupid things.
Yeah. But if you don't do it, change your life. Don't change your wife.
With that, never. But change your underwear. And with that, friends, remember this. Men of the world follow trends. And men of the faith, what
Change
do
your
they follow,
underwear.
John? And follow truth.
Make your choice.